Hey, Facebook world, how are we? Welcome to day 6. We finish tomorrow. Now, I'm jumping on earlier tonight because I've noticed that the majority of people watch the lives on catch up. That's one of the reasons, but the first reason is so I can actually give my family some quality time tonight. They wanted to watch a movie together as a family and have dinner, and we didn't want to, we wanted to be able to give them that time. So I decided to jump on early because, like I said, most people have been watching it on the replay, so you can watch on the replay anytime. It'll be up, it's on my page, you can watch it, you can save it, you can share it, you can watch it any way you like. So that's why I'm on early tonight. For those of you who are watching, hey gorgeous Ali, thanks for watching. So tonight, day 6, or it's not quite, it is almost tonight, we are going on how to like clean out your house, really, of the stuff that we really don't need to have in it. And we've been going through so much content. Last night was a goodie on stress, and I've got had a lot of comments on that one, so that's amazing. Stress, as we know, is huge for everybody. So that was a good topic. So like I said before, if you love it and you know that there was someone else who'd love to hear that message, then share it away. So so today we're doing cleaning out the house, and we're going to talk a little bit about food, and then we're going to touch just a little bit on like what we use in our house too and what we put on our skin. It's like I've said before, what we put on our skin is just as important as what we put in our mouth, but that could be like a whole live on that. So we're just going to touch just a little bit on that. Now, it's actually really challenging for even the strongest people to have temptation in the house. Personally, myself, I mean, like Easter time, hey Mary, thanks for watching. Easter time, I know, actually hubby and I this year just said, let's not do eggs this year, let's not. So we're not going to do eggs this year, and I'm sure that there'll be plenty of the kids' little Easter eggs that we'll end up having a couple of bites of. So we just didn't want to add that extra chocolate in the house, because if it's sitting there, if there's a beautiful lint bunny sitting there, well, you know what? You have to be pretty bloody strong to not eat it. Yeah, so that's what we're going to go through. We're going to talk a little bit about that it's pretty hard to have that temptation, roadblocks that would be that might stop you getting rid of those things. And then we're also going to go into how to clear out, like what to get rid of. Now, something that I know that holds people back from this is worrying about what if people come over and I've got nothing to offer them? Well, what I like to say with that is most people don't come over expecting food from you. And also, like, why are we feeding them food that we wouldn't necessarily want to be having in our house ourselves anyway? So you could have like healthy treats in the freezer. You can make chocolate balls, you can make a lot of those raw slices and things and freeze them if you desperately wanted to have something for when someone's there, or just make up some fruit, or like most people just get a cup of tea or coffee, unless I've got happen to have something in my house, otherwise it's just a cup of tea or coffee. I don't go to anyone's house expecting to be fed unless we're going for lunch or something. So let's drop that one. We need, again, treats for our kids. Well, again, just like we're serving our guests, why are we also serving our kids, the food that we wouldn't normally want to eat in the house? And I get it, like my kids don't eat the way I would. But we still don't have those things that we don't want them to eat really in the house. When we go out, they have ice cream, as treats when we're, on holidays, but we don't keep ice cream in the house. And at Easter, they have chocolate, and it's, they've had their eggs, and like chocolate would be the one thing they probably have more than anything, but it's still, we don't just keep chocolate in the house, but they're the things, they're still allowed to have them. Another one is, what if you feel like a treat yourself? Well, like on my membership site now, I have over 70 recipes for people to use and for my women to use, and they're amazing. And there's so many amazing healthy treats on there. And if you really wanted something, and I've said all along, you don't need to restrict yourself, but when is a treat not a treat anymore? If we're having it like every single day, it's just part of our daily food consumption. So, if we're doing that, we're not really having that pleasure in that sitting down and having, it's just like done and then done and dusted, not that mindful eating that we've talked about before. And I think that was the Hunger Live. I think that's going through all those sort of roadblocks that might hold you back from clearing out your cupboards. Now, what I would look at doing, and Brad and I have even talked about, maybe we could do this where people get us to come in and we could help them eliminate the stuff that you don't really need in your life, in your cupboards and things. And as a general rule, it's the least processed foods that you can have there. So I wouldn't be keeping things like, just like I said before, it's really hard to have the temptation there. Things like your sweet biscuits and, your, like around other people have like Savoy biscuits in their cupboard. Have some of those brown rice crackers or find something like that. Savoy biscuits are incredibly high in like those saturated fats that like even one biscuit. You've got a lot of sauces. We cleared out everything in our cupboards a couple of years ago that had any kind of like preservatives and numbers and things that we had no idea what they were, gone. So that actually meant grabbing a bin and throwing out some sauces, and they were marinades and things like that. And I keep it super simple now, and that's kind of the idea. Keep it simple, and we'll have our soy, and there's some teriyaki that doesn't have anything in it. Lots of soy sauce varieties. You got your vinegars, your balsamics. We just really try to clear away from those jarred stuff. They usually have thickeners, preservatives, flavorings, flavor enhancers, MSGs in so many things. That's why these lives don't even involve reading labels. But if you see 621 anywhere, which is actually in a lot of your chips, like it used to be in grain waves, but I think they might have eliminated it now. A lot of those little biscuits, delights and things like that, a lot of them have MSG in it. So, and it affects a lot of people, and it's really toxic to our system. So you become aware of what's in your product. So reading those packet pastas and processed things like that, just trying to get rid of those things and replace things. So have your fresh pasta, have your quinoa, have you can get we use in our house for pasta red lentil and chickpea pasta, and they're amazing. And then you're getting packed with protein as well. And then we have our gluten-free, and then occasionally we have pasta, but probably that would be more if we were out rather than even in our house. Hey Sarah, hey Steve, thanks for watching, guys. And pretty much anything that you can't spell or understand, or your grandma would have no idea what it was, get rid of it. Yeah, because if you don't understand it, your body's not going to understand it. It's not a food source, some sort of processed chemical in it. Look at your oils too, because a lot of oils are very toxic to our system, have been treated in certain ways that actually make them carcinogenic for us. So the best oils to have, like, get rid of your vegetable oils, your canola oils, sunflower. I read something recently, it's most of the ones that start with C and S. And get things like olive oil. Everyone knows olive oil is just amazing. Get super high temperatures, can turn a little bit rancid. So something like your coconut oil can hold that at higher temperature. And ghee is a great one for that, and butter. So they're just the most basic. There's nothing in those. They come really little processing. Olive oil is great to drizzle on your salad and things, have it really fresh. And move on to try and replace breads. If you've got a lot of white bread, and I know that some people say my kids only eat white bread. Our kids have been lucky. We've been lucky with our kids. That's the one thing they'll have, any sort of brown bread. They don't necessarily love, super grainy bread, but they will still eat it if I'm serving that to them. But we use a lot of sourdough. It's really good for the gut. It's much better for the gut. Sourdough or a spelt flour are better as well. Moving into those sort of flours, and they're the flours that I keep in the pantry as well, and I use those spelt wholemeal. We've got quinoa flour, we've got lots of the different flours, and I do keep some is it one of the flours that I use when I make shortbreads at Christmas or something, but I've even converted making gingerbread to using spelt flour and coconut sugar, and just there's ways that you can make them healthier so you don't feel that heaviness and know that you're still keeping on track with your goals. Artificial sweeteners, get rid of those. Get rid of them. We do not need them in our diet at all. You're better off having some sugar. Yeah. And things like tea and coffee, it's actually quite easy to eliminate sugar out of your tea and coffee because that's something we don't really need it. It's in yogurt, it's in all sorts of other things. If we can eliminate it like that, like my kids that might be coming through the door now, then let's do it. Yeah. So just have sugar if you're going to have sugar. Get rid of the artificial sweeteners. And sort of like that ice cream, like I was saying before, it's pretty hard for me to not eat ice cream if it's in the freezer. If it's still in the freezer, I don't like it. So it's probably not a nice one. So I won't buy it. And as we've talked about in some of the other lives, if I really want an ice cream, I'll go and get a good quality one and I'll have one of it, like one portion, rather than having the tub there and the, you know, temptation to eat the ice cream in the tub. So look at those, that goes back to the portions again. That's the main things that I would say you could look at in your cupboards. And every time I'm looking over there, I'm like looking at my cupboard, having a think there. And you know what? Everyone's going to eat different on the weekend, no matter what. So if you've gone out and you've done your food shopping and it's a Friday and you've got some new plan and you're going to actively choose that, intentionally choose something that you'd really like to have on the weekend, then do it and have that in the cupboard. But look at those portions again. That would be my best advice there. Now I'm going to go from that and touch on to what is also in your beauty cupboards and your cleaning cupboards. There is actually, it's really sad, there is no regulations on beauty products. Like, just let that land. They can actually put a product out on the market and it doesn't need to be proven safe at all until people start getting like reactions and then complaining, and then they might pull it back off the market, which some people don't even know that's happening to them. So many chemicals in our products, even from chemicals that are in our plastics, are massive hormone disruptors for women, huge. And we're wondering why people are having all these issues with their hormones and fertility and you know, polycystic ovaries and all these things. Look at what's going on your skin. Try to get as much organic and natural as you can. It took us a while, just like when I've been talking about food and how you can transition slowly with changing your diet. I did the same thing. I've only just converted in the last couple of years to changing my shampoo and conditioner. That was like the last thing to change, because I couldn't find any products that I felt worked. Deodorant is one of the most important because you're putting it all on your lymph nodes. The best ones I've found are the pastes. You can get them from most health shops now. You can get them online. But if you just start with that one thing, changing the deodorant that you use, amazing and impactful to your health. And then work from there. And then it was like sort of skincare and then makeup and then shampoo and conditioner. Of course, skincare meant body as well, because you're obviously putting a lot when you put soap on your body. And it's actually, you also don't want to be washing off all your little microbiomes. We don't just have them in our gut, we actually have them on our skin. So I love Melissa Ambrosini's little saying, just wash your pits and bits. Like, just keep that. Don't need to wash all the soap on your actual skin. Your skin's pretty clean. All it does is actually wash that microbiome off. And we really want to have that healthy balance on our body, in our gut and on our skin. So look at all these products. Toothpaste is another really big one too. Look at transitioning your toothpaste, and then work into your cleaning products. Because again, you're spraying them, you're breathing them in. Air fresheners are one of the worst, the ones that plug in and spray regularly. Just get rid of them. Get onto essential oils, essential oil candles. There are so many options out there. It can feel super overwhelming. Like everything I've just said today is like sort of like, there's a lot there to go through. So focus, like I've said before, on one thing at a time. Yeah, just work on one thing at a time and go from there. And you know, it might be, okay, I really want to look at changing my my skincare routine. So you look at that first, and then find something that you feel happy with, and it's going to be so much better for your health all over. And the last thing I do want to just give you a little bit of a tip on is how to navigate a supermarket. My best advice, I've got a little supermarket tour on my membership site. I'm just going to do a brief touching on it here though, is stick to the outside. The outside of the supermarket is like where all the fresh produce is, your eggs, your obviously fruit and veggies, your dairy if you're consuming dairy, and you know, you've got your breads, and you've just got everything around the outside. Usually your deli where you've got your fresh meats and your meat and your fish and your meats. So outside of the supermarket is best. The middle is where we get a lot more processed, and you may notice the more that you transition your food that you end up only going down a couple of those aisles. Like for me, it might be to get some, we consume a little bit of black beans and those sort of like cannelloni beans because we are vegetarian. So that'll be, I have to go down those aisles to get those, because I'm not quite at the stage where I want to be soaking beans and like doing that all night and then cooking them and things like that. Plenty of people do. So that's my supermarket tip. And remember that your stomach is not a garbage bin, and you are not a dog who needs to be rewarded with food. That's a little bit of a a little bit of a tip there, okay? Because when we're getting rid of that produce, a lot of times we're worried about it, like we've got to eat it, but then we're just making ourselves that bin. Now, I'm going to leave you with a quote tonight. I know you're all going to have an amazing Saturday night and enjoy yourself, and I'm looking forward to, we bought the new Mary Poppins, so we're all going to sit down as a family and get ready. We're going to make some dinner in a minute. We're making some homemade fish and chips. So the kids have already requested sweet potato chips, so we're having sweet potato chips, and we'll just bake them in the oven with a bit of coconut oil and lightly crumbing some white fish with my homemade breadcrumbs, because I make my own breadcrumbs. And we'll have that with some salad. So we don't need to eat fish and chips out. We much prefer that anyway. So my quote to leave you with tonight, and thank you for everybody for watching, is when you look in the mirror and see no change and still keep faith, knowing that in time you will get there if you stay focused, on track and consistent. That's the difference between those who succeed and those who fail. So it's really, I even added to that consistent. I don't know how half I just find these quotes, so there's a fly there. I don't know who half of them are from. So that is one thing that I talk about with my ladies all the time. Consistency is key. Everybody wants the result now. It takes time. So being consistent my body has changed so much over even 20 years, but the consistency is always in the training. Take the decision out of it. There isn't an option. I get up in the morning and I train. I don't lie in bed. I'm just saying, this is what you could say. I don't lie in bed saying, will I go, when I go, will I go, when I go, will I train, when I train. Just take the decision out. There is no decision. You don't decide to go to work. You don't, I might not go today. You know, you might have an occasional day, just like you have an occasional day of the training like that. But you don't give yourself a decision not to go. So take the decision out of it. Incorporate the exercise into your training and do what we've said today. Clear out the crap out of the house and take all the information I've been saying every day. And tomorrow night's a goodie. We're going to talk emotional eating, beliefs, a bit of shame in there that I've been listening to with Brené Brown. We're going to touch on some goodies. So that one will, I think, be at 8:30 tomorrow night. So all going well. And have an amazing Saturday night. I'm looking forward to going to spend it with my family. And if, like I've said before, if you're loving the content, share it, comment, let me know if it resonates with you. Just remember, like, people say, oh yeah, I saw it, and they'll tell me that later. And I'm like, oh, okay, we didn't like or comment. So I'd have no idea that you saw it. So if you don't like, comment, or share, the person doing the live has absolutely no idea you've actually got anything out of it, or you've enjoyed it, or that this resonates with you, or you'd like more of it. So yeah, just know that when you're watching these types of things. All right, love to you all. Have an amazing Saturday night, and I will see you tomorrow night. Bye.